Yo, what's good, y'all? I'm Wild. Thank you for dropping into yet another groovy video. These are some different, strange times we find ourselves in and whatnot, and I just decided to come on and share some stuff from my heart to your heart. First of all, thank you for being you. Thank you for being amazing. You have a gift to give this world. You have a purpose to give this world. Like, your life matters. And I just want to affirm that no matter like who you are, what gender you are, what color you are, what you believe, what you don't believe, like, you matter and your life has value. And that's really important, man, because these days, like, there's a lot of fear going on, and there's a lot of this illusion of separation and fear. And at the end of the day, no matter what you believe or what you don't believe or what you identify as or what you don't identify as, we're all fucking human, you know? And that's what it's all about for me. Like, all this craziness that's going on, all this shit, like everything that's been building up to this point right now in Wildland, like in my world, it leads me back to the importance of really being a human and like really questioning, well, what is being a human all about? And then from there, kind of segueing into like what I talked about in the last video about bringing it back to God. And I just wanted to talk a little bit more about that concept of bringing it back to God, because we're in a very confusing time for a lot of people. A lot of people, almost overnight, their whole world, their whole security blanket, like everything just fucking like that because of the economy and how everything's going right now. So I think it's more important than ever to really show our humanity and to really drop all these illusions of separation and all these beliefs that we've carried that make us think that we're different, that we're separate from a certain group of people. Because at the end of the day, yeah, we have different cultures, we have different beliefs, but even those things were man-made. Like, they were created at some point in time by man. So with that being said, it's important, I think, now as we see how far this man-made world has gotten us. Like, out of this man-made world, we've had all of these isms. We've had like racism, we've had sexism, we've had all these inequalities, economic inequality, like all these things. I can't even begin to start naming them because they'll fucking take up the whole time of the video, but you get the gist. And I'm not here to dwell on that negativity, because you turn on the TV, you turn on the news, listen to a politician, they got that covered. Like, they're really good at telling you about how you're supposed to fear everyone else and how historically we've gotten to this place of like, oh, we have to live for ourselves and our tribe. Well, and it's not good or bad if you believe it or not. It is what it is. You have every right to believe in that if you want to believe in it. But me personally, where my experiences have led me to this point, I feel like they're all lies. Like, a lot of these things we've been told that, like, one group of people is better than the other, or even growing up in the United States of America, like, much love to this country, much love to everyone here. But it's like, I was told my whole life that this whole concept of like American exceptionalism, that we're the chosen ones to live these cushy, comfortable lives while our military bombs and goes to war on other people's kids and these other countries, while we're just chilling watching Disney movies and like eating our McDonald's and not worrying about bombs and drones and all this shit that's happening literally in other countries to people our age and younger. So just like every other American, I grew up very sheltered. I grew up in the suburbs, very sheltered in this little Disney bubble, as I like to call it, this little Disney fairy tale bubble of America. But it's because of that experience and because of these 26 years of growth that I am at now, that I've come to realize that, like, we are all human, and like, we need to get out of this idea that we're different just because we live in a different part of the world, or just because we subscribe to this belief system of being American or being whatever. So that's the first step, in my opinion, of becoming free, of being free, and really bringing it back to God. Because if we are really children of God, and if we do truly believe in something bigger than ourselves, then now it's really time to act like children of God. And that means, for me anyway, like, I don't believe in these conventions and these restrictive, like, stereotypes. There really are stereotypes that have been imposed on everyone in society that dictate how we're supposed to live. It's almost like this weird script that we were given just over generations of this is how you act, especially being like a man, hence why I'm chilling with some beads and a flower crown, because as I said in my other video, I see God, when I speak of God, I see God as like an androgynous being. It's both masculine and feminine, because it makes sense that we are all children of God, so it makes sense that that original source, that spark of creation that is God, wouldn't be limited to just being a man or a woman. So when it comes to embodying God and doing your best to just be that unique individual expression of God, I'm over here chilling, baby, you know what I mean? Like, I'm over here being free, because like I'm very grounded in being a man, being biologically a man in a man's body. But at the same time, I acknowledge that there is that very potent feminine energy, that divine feminine energy that flows through me, as well as that divine masculine energy. And it is what it is, and it's beautiful, and they each have lessons, and they each have their own waves and currents for me to ride and for me to learn. And you know, I'm not tripping anymore about like what that means in like a human level, because at the end of the day, it's like, if we just allow God, allow that energy of God, allow that consciousness to flow through us, you know, excuse me, I'm fucking over here choking on my own spit. Ha ha. If we allow all that shit to flow through us, maybe then we can tap into that mind of God, to that heart of God, to that bliss of God, which is, there is no time, there is no like day of the week, time, all that shit that we created as humans. That's like a part of man's law. But when it comes to like going back to God and following God's laws, I feel like in every religion, whether it's the 10 Commandments or I don't know how it is in other religions, but there are some things in each religions that are like kernels of truth, right? So regardless of what you believe or don't believe in, there are some things that we have strayed away from when it comes to instructions of how to live on this planet in harmony, and how to love ourselves and care for each other and care for the earth. And again, if we are all God, if we are all consciousness, if we are all that spark of love that created everything, then the world, our Mother Earth, is a part of that too. So that means the plants, the trees, the animals, everything that is this living, loving, breathing earth, this planet, this home, it's alive and it's connected with the consciousness of everything. So it just, you know, reminds me that we have a duty to respect our earth. Like, you know, don't fucking stop littering, stop polluting, you know, stop doing all this shit to our Mother Earth. Because think of it this way, every time we do put a cigarette, throw a cigarette butt on the planet, or throw a beer can on the planet, we're telling the earth that we don't give a fuck about her. And at the same time, if we are a reflection of the earth, if we are the consciousness of the earth, if everything is together, if we are all that God source consciousness, then we're pretty much saying when we litter on the earth, well, we don't give a fuck about ourselves either. And that's, I think, where we've come. We've come to this attitude of, well, it's hip, it's trending, or at least historically anyway, we're getting out of that now, but it's been trending and historical, trending and hip in my generation of millennials and Generation Z to be like, oh, we don't give a fuck. Well, we'll see. We see where that mindset has gotten us, right? And I am totally guilty of adopting that mentality for the longest time. But where does it really end us up? We look around, we see we're at a fucking pandemic. Everything's shut down. Everyone's afraid of each other. That's exactly where it's led us. This idea of not giving a fuck. It's been the direct correlation of like trying to make up our own laws, trying to make up our own rules. Yeah, I kind of consider myself as an anarchist, to the point is I don't give a fuck about a lot of these laws and rules that are here on this earth. But it's not because I don't give a fuck per se. It's because I know in my heart a lot of these laws, these rules, they're meant for this illusion of like external power. They're meant to take away power and rights and privileges of other people so that other people can have this illusion of power and that they're on top. But that's not true power, yo. Like, true power is bringing it back to God. True power is when you sit with your heart, when you allow these times of silence and stillness, and when you allow yourself just to be and not to really tire yourself out with all these thoughts, because you know at the end of the day, you're enough as is. Like, you are God, you're goddess, you are consciousness, you are love, you are everything that there is. So you don't need to prove nothing. All you got to do is just be and love yourself. And that's where I'm moving, you know, or where I've been working towards. It's a work in progress. I'm not there yet, but that's what I'm working towards, and that's where a lot of people I observe are working towards too. You know, we don't need to subscribe to these patterns of like living these fucking, like, being slaves to corporations and all this shit. And in many ways, you know, this whole coronavirus bullshit and this whole shutdown of society is the perfect invitation for us to reset and to return to who we were supposed to be all along, to our God selves, to being our natural selves, to just letting go and living and breathing and feeling sensually in each moment, and seeing each fellow human and speck of creation as a part of us, as a reflection of us, and treating that with the respect that it deserves. Because I deserve respect, you deserve respect, you deserve to be loved, you deserve love, I deserve love, I deserve to be loved. So let's start acting like it. And that's why I don't really give a fuck about these laws that are made up by these governments, because they're not built off of nurturing the human spirit. They're not built off of compassion and about truly serving our true interests. They're not about seeing us as reflections of divinity, of God, of consciousness. That's all under God's law. So that's why I don't give a fuck about the laws of man, and I'm, from here on out, it's all about God's law. So that means, yeah, I'm going to be out in these streets doing these street spirituals like we do. Shout out to my man J God, we got those videos up, street spirituals, we got more coming, where we were out here on these streets spreading that love, spreading that gospel of just like that divine word, that divine truth, through the flows, through freestyle flows, through music, or through just like speaking some good love, some loving words from our hearts to your hearts. So that's a whole different spiel. It's a whole other video. Street spirituals, it's a thing, but shameless plug. But I'm about to wrap up and just say, because I could rant on and on. There's going to be more videos, but just thank you for being you. And like, now's the time to really, like, people are like, what would Jesus do? Well, now's the time to really ask that question, regardless if you're Christian or not. Just ask, like, what would Jesus, what would Allah, what would Muhammad, what would whoever your prophet is, what if you were that prophet? What if any religion or spiritual doctrine that you subscribe to, what if that person that you were told to look up to, what if you are that person? What if the second coming of Christ, as they have talked about, what if that is right now? And it is our responsibility in these times to really tap into that Christ nature, that Christ consciousness that is us, being those sparks of God. Maybe now is what's been prophesied. We have the golden opportunity now, through this seemingly dystopian apocalyptic setting, to rise up and to really be our authentic Christ-like God selves, and to really anchor and start building that heaven on earth. And I know a lot of people think this is bullshit and that this is, you know, idealistic and utopian, but the only reason that it may seem like that is because we've been told that it's impossible. And think of it, it goes back to man's laws. It's a system of control. They told us that peace on earth is impossible, that war is the only thing that's really probable, because that's how their laws work. Their laws thrive off of inequality. They thrive off of the people at the top earning more money while everyone else's sons and daughters die. No more, baby. It's all about the common people. It's all about the people. It's all about love. It don't matter what race you subscribe to, what gender, whatever. It's all one human race. That's the thing. The race and gender and all that shit has been complicated by man's law. Under God's laws, we're all one human race. We're all just beautiful humans that are experiencing the eternal bliss of each moment. So, with that being said, just know that you're here for a reason. And find these times where it seems like there's not much to do. Create something, write something, paint something, draw something, build something, anything. But just know that you're creative. You are infinite potentiality. You are able to do anything you set your mind to. You are that of pure love, of pure consciousness, pure God. So thank you so much for being you. Like I said, there's going to be more videos that are going to be coming. I'm going to probably do more videos like this where I talk a little more about this. And if you want to hear more about this, or if you want to share your own experiences about what it means to bring it back to God, what it means about to awaken to that love and light of your heart in this now moment, please share your experiences, comment. Like, I really want to know what you're creating. If you're an artist, let me know. Send some links to your videos, your songs. Let's just really share that love and like help build each other up. But yo, thank you for being you. Let's keep bringing it back to God. And let's keep remembering why we are here, why our souls chose to be here right now. And let's continue to lift each other up and to love each other and to serve humanity and to build this new heaven on earth that is more than possible, baby. Yo. Ha.